So there was tons of new information revealed about Star Wars Outlaws that many of you probably missed because this info was revealed outside of the gameplay that was shown, and it was revealed in a bunch of interviews, a bunch of different articles. I've compiled it all in this one video, and after you watch this video right now, you're going to realize just how much bigger this game is than you originally thought. In this video, I'm going to go over everything, including how you will actually explore space stations in space, how these space stations will play an important role in missions, the brand new crime syndicate that is making its very first debut in Star Wars, how dialogue choices will actually affect the story and the endgame, more details on the crafting bench and how you will upgrade your weapons as you progress, and even more details beyond this. So yes, there is tons of stuff to go over in this video, so let's dive in, shall we? Alright, so first we gotta talk about the space station. So as we saw in the gameplay demo, you'll be able to seamlessly travel from the planet's surface to space using your ship, which is called the Trailblazer. And once in space, you can then visit large space stations and perform delivery missions and other types of missions. So yes, you will actually get to visit and board space stations. So for instance, you may be doing a mission that involves you retrieving an item from someone on the planet's surface, and then the mission will require you to go into your ship and then seamlessly travel to space. You may then get into some random dogfights along the way, and then you'll finally arrive to the space station to deliver the goods. So this is an example of just how extensive one mission can be and how it can involve space stations. And yes, space will also include much bigger battles with much larger ships, so it won't be just limited to dogfighting or simple exploration. You'll actually be upgrading your ship as you progress the story and then encountering larger ships along your journey. And there will be some rather large events happening in space as well, and Massive Entertainment also revealed that there will be some special surprises hidden within space too. I don't know what this means exactly, but I guess we'll find out hopefully in upcoming gameplay previews. And now I must talk about how the dialogue options in this game will actually affect the gameplay and the endgame. So this comes from a GameSpot interview with director Matthias Carlson and narrative director Navid Kavari. So this is what GameSpot asked. They said, in the footage I saw, it seems like Kay will have several decisions she has to make throughout the game, like to bribe or not bribe an Imperial officer, for example. Do the decisions that you make throughout the game create a replayable branching narrative? Now, Carlson answered this and said, action and consequences is pervasive in the experience. The decisions you make and actions you take are going to have an impact on your relationship with the different factions, creating threats and opportunities. There will be an ebb and flow there depending on the choices you make. They also impact the endpoint. Now, Kavari said, yeah, it's in that moment-to-moment decision-making where the narrative is going to react to what you're doing. But also, we wanted to make sure this was a full journey for Kay from beginning to end. We wanted those anchor points, those emotional beats in the story, so it's guaranteed you're going to have that, but moment to moment, the story's going to adapt. So it looks like Kay's reputation in this game with the different syndicates will play a huge role in her journey throughout the game, including her relationships with the Pikes, Hutts, and other crime syndicates, and what you as a player choose to say and do will affect everything and all of these relationships. So if a job you take ends up hurting a syndicate, for instance, then future jobs from that crime syndicate may not be available to you anymore, since your reputation will then go down. And we all saw an example of this in the gameplay trailer where Kay got caught by the Pikes during her mission. So naturally, her reputation then went down with the Pikes. And if she wouldn't have gotten caught and she would have done the mission completely undetected, then her reputation with the Pikes would have remained intact. So this is super important. Everything you do, everything you say is going to affect all of your relationships. Also, if you are caught by the Empire or challenge them, you will start to become wanted, and a wanted icon will pop up on your screen at the top left. And at the highest wanted levels, the Empire will continually throw more and more at you, and sometimes it may be just wise to run away from the situation before you get completely demolished. We also saw an example of this in the gameplay presentation as well, where Kay refused to bribe the Imperial officer, which resulted in not only a speeder chase, but a dogfight in space as well. So this simple heist mission started on the planet's surface, but then it ultimately erupted in chaos as a space dogfight. So that was freaking epic to see, and thankfully Kay was able to get away by jumping into hyperspace. So you can always run away if the heat gets too bad. And Tashara, which is the moon that was shown in the gameplay showcase, is way bigger than we all originally thought. The gameplay demo showed only a small little glimpse of the moon, and there's also an entire capital city on Tashara called Miragana, which is a city that is full of corruption and underworld activity. And I believe this screenshot right here shows what the city could look like, and it definitely has Coruscant underground vibes to it for sure. So I cannot wait to see more of this city. And also, some areas are so vast and big that you will need to actually use your speeder bike to reach certain areas that you could not access by foot. So the speeder will become absolutely necessary to access some of these specific areas on these planets. And of course, there are many other planets you'll be able to travel to, and we saw these teased at the end of the gameplay trailer. Also, there is a new crime syndicate introduced in this game as well. And this crime syndicate, the Ashiga clan, is a brand new crime syndicate introduced to all of Star Wars, and they are first debuting in Star Wars Outlaws, which is really cool. This is kind of similar to how they first introduced the planet Solace in Star Wars Battlefront. So the Ashiga clan are actually located in the Akiva system, which was the system shown at the very end of the first gameplay showcase, as we saw at Ubisoft Forward. So hopefully we get to see a glimpse of this new crime syndicate in the next gameplay preview, since where they are located was teased at the very end of the first gameplay showcase. And finally, I must talk about the crafting bench and upgrading the blaster. So this comes from the GameSpot interview with director Matthias Carlson and narrative director Navid Gavari. So GameSpot said, "I noticed there was a crafting bench on Kay's ship. How much is crafting or survival elements going to factor into Outlaws?" Carlson replied and said, "Early on, we said Kay and Nyx. They've known each other for years, but quickly the adventure takes you into places and situations that are new to Kay and Nyx, and at the same time, it's new for you. So of course, on that journey and in both the core narrative campaign experience and in the side adventures that you go on your own accord, growing in various ways is a core part of the game. You upgrade your ship, your speeder, your abilities." Now Gavari responded and said, "You will also see her grow into her kit and blaster, adding new modules and elements to that. So watching that growth across the campaign and gameplay, it feels like you're with her doing it at the same time." I think that's what's awesome, is to get that feeling that I'm actually becoming a full-fledged scoundrel. And also, Ubisoft has stated that Kay's blaster is very meaningful to her, and that her weapon has a lot of modules that you can discover, upgrade, and apply to her blaster, and these new upgrades will allow you to deal with situations in radically different ways. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but you'll be able to do it in radically different ways. And yes, of course, you can pick up other weapons around the world and even use Nyx to retrieve these weapons, as we saw in the gameplay demo. So after finding out about all of this stuff, space stations, the upgrades with the weapons, the new clan syndicates, how big the moon of Tashara is, I'm absolutely blown away about how massive this game is really going to be. I don't think we're really comprehending how big this game is really going to be until we finally get it in our hands and we're playing it on our own TV. So I cannot wait for the game. I'm very, very excited for it. I'm going to also be keeping my eyes peeled for anything on player customization, like customizing Kay, maybe customizing Nyx as well. I know that you can upgrade the ship. We know that you can upgrade the weapons. But how much player customization will you be able to do in this game? I think that's a big question a lot of people have. So I'm going to be keeping my eyes peeled for any more news and information on Star Wars Outlaws. Again, it's coming out in 2024. Hit that like button if you are excited for this game. Leave a comment down below. What are you looking forward to most in this game? And I'll see you all next time. Take it easy, and may the Force be with you always.